So this is it. We are ready for the second leg, the second half of Forest and Villa. As it stands, Forest are 1-0 up. What awaits us on this Thursday evening? Welcome to the preview for Villa versus Forest. Hi guys, hope you're doing well and welcome to the preview. And I'm starting to get nervous, I can't lie, man. Coming up, we'll talk about who should start, who can start, who's injured. Will Morgan Gibbs-White turn into Morgan Gibbs-Osman? And how is this one going to play out? So make sure you've liked, make sure you've hyped and subscribed. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Daily Forest posts there. We're on Facebook as well, Twitter, whatever they call it now, TikTok, WhatsApp, all our socials are in the description. So whatever your preferred method is, make sure you're following for your Forest news. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. I can't lie. I'm going to come off the bat and say I'm feeling confident. But because I'm feeling confident, that makes me feel nervous. And because I'm feeling nervous, that makes me worry. And because I'm worried, I don't know how this is going to play out. Everything is pointing to a Forest win. The form guide for us, how bad Villa have been over the last 3 games. The integrity of both clubs right now. Forest rotated, yes, but had integrity, desire, passion, and went and slapped Chelsea up. Unai Emery allegedly took a bribe. That's a joke. That's a joke. And played crap and lost to Spurs, the worst team in the league. The whole country wants Forest to win because the whole country wanted Spurs down. And Villa may have just enabled their survival. So there's a lot of pressure on this game, but I actually think more pressure is on Villa and Unai Emery than is on Forest. And I'll explain why. I'm sick of hearing this label about how Emery is the king of the Europa League. He's won this trophy 4 times. He's done this, that, and the other. I've seen him bottle it at Arsenal. I've seen him go out in the Conference League to Olympiacos. I've seen him, what else? Semi-finals last year against Crystal Palace. I've seen him blow the Champions League against the worst Man U side I've ever seen last season. And they missed out on Champions League on the last day of the season. So there's so many, you can make the case for Emery and you can make the case against Emery. But I don't think we need to bother about is Emery the king or this or that or the other of it all. Because if Forest do what Forest have been doing over the last few weeks, whatever Emery and whatever Villa and their players and the crowd and the atmosphere and everything have to offer, Forest can counteract it. This is now about us. I think we're favourites for this. A lot of people still put Villa down as favourites under the lights of Villa Park and all this crap, right? Well, Spurs were under the lights of Villa Park. How did that work out? So I honestly think we can win this. But there is still that voice in the back of my head, man, that just keeps saying, remember all those semi-finals I've had to live through. I've seen since Spurs Forest in 91. I've seen Forest win 1 semi-final. That's crazy. And that was against Sheffield. So, let's get into this. Man, that was a long intro. Sorry, guys. But I'm just like, I'm nervous. Okay. Now, in terms of players and who can play and who can't, I think Gibbs-White will play. I think you would have to literally chain him in the dressing room or chain him back home to stop him from playing if, of course, he is able to, like physically, and it's not going to harm him and stuff. I can't see a way that he isn't chomping at the bits to play this game. Maybe he Osman's up, puts on, the Zorro mask, the Ez mask, or what have you. I think come whatever way, he will play. And does that hinder us or help us? I don't know, man. Like, vision in a mask, is it as good as without the mask? Will he feel comfortable and all this stuff? It doesn't matter. As Pereira said, we need his feet. And let's see what else he can do. So I think he starts. In terms of Murillo, I think Murillo will make himself available for this game. But I don't know if I start him. I just see him in the back of my head. There's a lot of stuff going on in the back of my head. I remember him having a couple of stinkers against Villa at Villa Park. I don't know, sometimes players on certain grounds just don't mix. But Murillo and Milenkovic, we know, are a great partnership. But I think Jair Cunha has been excellent so far. So that's the dilemmas. Let's get into the team sheet and let's kind of talk it through visually. I think that's the best way to do it. So this is a team that slapped up Chelsea. Big up to this team. Well done. I think we're going to see the standard. The easiest thing to call here is that Sells will come out and Ortega is clearly, obviously, the Europa League goalkeeper. In terms of the back four, Nets can't play because he's not in the squad. So Nico Williams will come back in at left back. I think Morato won't play this game. And then we'll obviously see Milenkovic coming back in. I love this guy, Milenkovic. And then Ola Aina at right back. Now, the position for contention for me in the back four is, of course, Cunha versus Murillo. It's starting to sound like I got some kind of Murillo agenda. I don't. I don't really want him to leave this summer. I don't want him to leave ever, right? But form right now for me feels like Jair Cunha, he's done enough to start this game. And if Murillo is injured or whatever's going on with him or why he went out to Qatar and all this stuff, I don't know. But Jair Cunha for me, it will be more match sharp. I'm going with Jair Cunha. In the midfield, I think Yates has done really well when required, but it obviously has to be Anderson on that side. And I'm sticking with Dominguez. I think Sangare is probably close to being back fit. We still don't really know what's kept him out of the team or anything like that. But I like this partnership. I think it complements each other really well. Leaving Jesus in the 10, I really like his position there. I was impressed with Bakwa, I have to say. But Hutchinson for me just feels full of confidence. McAtee, I'd love him to start, but it's got to be Gibbs-White on that left-hand side. Now, a lot of people keep telling me this is a 4-4-2. Oh, sorry, Taiwo obviously isn't eligible for the Europa League, so Cristiano Wadinho comes in. Whatever way Pereira goes, I'm at the stage now where I can see the rationale behind every change he makes, every selection he's making, why he's gone for it, what he's doing. I'm not questioning it anymore. I'm trying to learn from what he's doing. You know, does that make sense? So, like, if he was to, let's just say, drop Hutchinson and bring in McAtee, I'd be like, okay, why has he done that? Because he's been pairing up well with Gibbs-White. There's a little chemistry going on there, etc., etc. You know, things like that. You can kind of see the rationale. Whereas before with the Sean Dyche, you're like, huh? What? You're playing him? Why? Everything's just working nicely at the moment. This is probably the team I start. I like it. But I wouldn't begrudge anyone bringing Murillo in if he's fit. I wouldn't begrudge anyone saying Sangare starts ahead of Dominguez. I wouldn't even begrudge Yates starting instead of Dominguez. I think right now, whoever comes in is going to be so motivated and so switched on and so focused on the prize that I don't really think the team selection matters too much, which is absolutely crazy to say. And I don't even know if that makes sense. But that's the team I'm going with. But the squad will be important. We will need to be tactically, astute during this game. And I trust Pereira to do that. We may need to lock it up. If Forest take an early lead, for example, 2-0, Villa would have to score 3 goals to qualify, or at least 2 to take it to extra time. So we may see some interesting in-game management. But where I think this would differ between Pereira being in charge and Nuno being in charge is I actually expect Pereira to tell the players, you go out there, you start quick, just like you did against Chelsea, go and get an early goal. Get the early goal, silence the crowd if they're up for it, or maybe they'll be booing them again, who knows. Silence that crowd, get the first goal, get them on the back foot, and then that forces Villa's hand. Villa then have to go all-out attack. Then we can play maybe like a mid-block, hit them on some counter-attacks, those quick movements that we're starting to see that have created some really good goals for us. The first goal, I know it's cliche, is going to be so huge in this match. Hopefully there's no goals. I'd be more than happy for a 0-0 and Forest goes through 1-0. But I don't think this tie is as clear and cut as I would like it to be. I'd love the 2-goal lead. 2 goals feels good, you know, but I don't know, guys. How you feeling? Tell me in the comments. What am I predicting? I think we draw 1 apiece. And I will rip your arm off, leg off, toe off, whatever part of you want me to rip off for that score, because that puts us through and into the final. And I'm not doing this whole whoever wins this match has already won the cup, because finals come with a different kind of pressure as well. So we have to do this, but it just feels like it's destined to happen. And that excites me and scares me at the same time. So I'm going a 1-1 draw. Hopefully we get through. Get your score predictions in the comments. Let me know, more importantly, how you're feeling about the game. Are the nerves kicking in yet? Or are you still quite calm? Make sure you've liked, make sure you subscribed. We had Grumpy Old Reds last night. Go check it out. They're all confident about it. That worries me a little. I can't lie. There's going to be I don't know what we're calling it, Beat the Drop, the thing with me, Nikki, and the 2 boys from We Are Tottenham TV. This will be episode 4 of it, so that'll be out this afternoon, so make sure you check it out and check our socials out as well. We'll see you back later on this afternoon for that. Come on, you Reds.